Welcome guys, welcome to Learning Bites. So in this module we are going to learn about the Act of 1786. Act of 1786 was enacted to grant the provisions asked by Lord Cornwallis when he was appointed as the Governor General of Bengal. When Lord Cornwallis was appointed as the Governor General of Bengal, he said the British government that he would accept the post only if they would accept his two demands. And his two demands were that he has the power to override the decisions of Executive Council. So he should have the power to override the decisions of his own council in certain cases. And the second demand was that he would be the commander-in-chief. So the Act of 1786 was enacted to grant the provisions asked by Lord Cornwallis when he was appointed as the Governor General of Bengal in 1786. He asked the British government the power to override the decisions of his own executive council in certain cases, and he said that he would be the commander-in-chief. Thus, this Act of 1786 granted all these provisions to Lord Cornwallis and he was made the Governor General of Bengal. Next, we can go to Charter Act of 1793. The Charter Act of 1793 was in fact a continuation of this Act of 1786, and the significant features are that first feature was that it extended this overriding power over the council. Overriding power of Lord Cornwallis to all future Governor Generals. And governors of other presidencies. Second point is that it made Governor General, it gave the Governor General more power by making the Bombay and Madras presidencies subordinate. Third point, it extended a trade monopoly of the company with India to another long period of 20 years. So it extended a trade monopoly of the British East India Company with India to another period of 20 years. And it also said that the commander-in-chief is not a member of the Governor General's Council unless he was appointed so. Until the commander-in-chief was appointed as a member of Governor General's Council, he was not a member. So the commander-in-chief was not a member of General's Council, Governor General's Council. Unless he was appointed so. And the fifth point is that therefore the members of the Board of Control and their staff has to pay the Indian revenue. It laid down that the members of the Board of Control and their staff were henceforth to be paid out of the Indian revenue. So the Charter of 1793 granted the overriding power of Governor General over his own executive council to all future Governor Generals after Lord Cornwallis. It gave the Governor General more and more power by making the Bombay and Madras presidencies subordinate to him, and it extended the trade monopoly of the British government with India to another long period of 20 years. And it also said, it provided that the Governor Commander-in-Chief was not to be a member of the Governor General's Council unless he was appointed as a member. And the fifth point is that the members of Board of Control and the staff has to pay the Indian revenue. That's all. Thank you.